Dear students, in the today's session, I am going to explain about the isotonicity and its significance and adjustment of the isotonicity by using various methods. First of all, what is isotonic and what is isoosmotic? When two solutions are having the same osmotic pressure, we can say these two are isoosmotic. When a solution is having the osmotic pressure as that of the any body fluid, it is called as the isotonic. A given solution is having the osmotic pressure as that of a body fluid. We can say this solution is isotonic with our blood plasma, lacrimal secretions, nasal fluids, like this. What is the importance of the isotonicity? What is the significance of the isotonicity? If it is not isotonic, what is that? That is paratonic. What is that paratonic? Is of two types, hypotonic and hypertonic. That is, hypotonic means less than isotonic. Hypertonic means more than isotonicity. Here, what are the various preparations which are to be adjusted for the isotonicity? That is parenteral, injection, para plus enteral. Other than entering into the enteric tract, GIT tract. Simply injection. Okay? And nasal drops, any preparation for administration into the nasal cavity must be isotonic. Eye lotions, eye drops, not compulsory, but eye lotion compulsory. Because eye drops are adding only one or two drops, but eye lotion, they are flooding the eye cavity with the lotions. So it must be isoosmotic, like it's isotonic. And topical solutions, which are meant for application to the wounds, it must be isotonic. Otherwise, it causes irritation, right? And even when it comes to the injections, what are the different routes of administration? That is intracutaneous, intracutaneous, almost the superficial layer of the skin, and subcutaneous, and intramuscular, intravenous and intrathecal. Okay? Here, intracutaneous, generally we give some diagnostic preparations. Example, Schick test toxin. To diagnose whether a person is having immunity for diphtheria or not, we have to use Schick test toxin. To diagnose whether a person is having TB or not, we are using the Mantoux test. To diagnose tuberculosis, Mantoux test. To diagnose immunity for diphtheria, we are using the Schick test toxin. Right? So these preparations must be given by intracutaneous route, outermost layer, I can say that. And next one, subcutaneous. Generally, we give vaccines by this route, vaccines, right? And intramuscular, many antibiotics, vitamins we used to give by the intramuscular route. Many preparations, number of preparations, number of drugs are there meant for the administration to the intramuscular route. Intramuscular and intravenous, injecting to the vein, and intrathecal, that is inject into the CSF, cerebrospinal fluid. What is the importance of the isotonicity when they are injecting by different routes? Okay, let us see what is the basic information about the hypotonic and hypertonic. This is a blood vessel. Right? And here it is complete with RBC, WBC, platelets, plasma, like this. A number of items are there, a number of things are there in the blood plasma, RBC. What is the size of the RBC? 7.2 microns into 2.2 microns. 2.2 microns thickness, 7.2 microns diameter. Right? So, Now, RBC, inside the RBC, what is present? Hemoglobin, about 33%, water, about 63%, minerals, glucose, proteins, like this, n number of things present in the inside the RBC, red blood corpuscle. Outside RBC, plasma proteins, platelets, WBC, like this, a number of things are there. Now, there is a osmotic pressure, osmotic condition is maintained between the components inside the RBC and outside the RBC. There is a osmotic condition, isoosmotic condition is maintained between the components present inside the RBC and outside the RBC. Okay, they are giving some isotonic solution. They are injecting isotonic solution into the vein, intravenous route. Okay, then same thing will be maintained. What is the example of the best example for the solution which is isotonic? That is 0.9% weight by volume solution of sodium chloride. Sodium chloride, right? Now, suppose instead of isotonic, we are given the hypotonic solution, less than isotonic. So, instead of 0.9, we'll give some 0.7% sodium chloride solution. What will happen? We'll see now, right? So, when we are giving this solution, the plasma outside RBC is getting diluted. So, here it is having low concentration of the fluids. Inside, no change. But comparatively, it is more inside the RBC. To maintain the osmotic condition, the water solvent moves from low concentration to high concentration. Because of the injection of the huge volumes of the hypotonic solution, plasma is diluted. But no change in the RBC components. Here there is a condition, there is no osmotic condition, there is no isoosmotic conditions here. It happened because of injection of the hypotonic solutions. Because of that one, to maintain the osmotic condition, the water moves from low concentration to high concentration. Where is this low concentration? Outside RBC. The water goes inside into the RBC. What will happen? RBC size increases. Instead of 0.7, we'll inject 0.5. What will happen? It is further diluted, plasma further diluted, but no change in the components of the RBC. So, water moves from low concentration to high concentration. More amount of water is going inside to maintain the osmotic equilibrium. So, RBC size further increases. Okay, let us give 0.45%. What will happen? We'll see now. When you give 0.45% sodium chloride solution, RBC size further increases and it may break also, burst also, it may burst. So, this is called as the fragility point concentration of sodium chloride to cause hemolysis. Hemolysis. 0.45% weight by volume solution of sodium chloride causes hemolysis. That's why it is called as the fragility point concentration of sodium chloride to cause hemolysis. That's the problem with the injection of the huge volumes of the hypotonic solution. If you inject 1 or 2 ml, no problem, that will happen. But if you inject huge volumes, liters, half liter, 1 liter, and all, it may cause this type of hemolysis. So, that's the importance of the isotonicity. The next one is hypertonic. We'll see the next diagram. Again, a blood vessel, RBC. RBC is there. Now, inside the RBC, hemoglobin, water, proteins, minerals, glucose, like this carbohydrates, everything is present inside the RBC and all. right? Outside the RBC, we have the plasma components and all other things are there. As such, there is a osmotic conditions maintained between the inside the components of the RBC and outside the components of RBC, right? Now, they are injecting the hypertonic solution. 0.9% is isotonic. Less than 0.9, hypotonic. More than 0.9, hypertonic. What will happen? Suppose you inject some 2% sodium chloride solution. What will happen? You see. The concentration of the plasma components is increasing because of injection of the high concentration of the sodium chloride, which is hypertonic. Concentration of the components in the plasma is increasing. Whereas inside the RBC, no change. No change at all. Okay? But what will happen now to maintain the osmotic conditions? The water moves from low concentration to high concentration. The water is coming out. Water is coming out from inside the RBC to the outside the RBC to maintain the osmotic equilibrium. Once this water is going out, RBC loses its shape. It causes shrinkage or crenulation. With crenulation, pointed ends, you get the RBC like this. It may form like this, right? So this is the problem with the hypertonic. So 2% also no problem, but if you inject 5%, it causes major crenulation. So generally, we can say that hypertonic means if you say 5% solution of sodium chloride, it causes crenulation. If you are injecting the 0.45% solution of sodium chloride, it causes hemolysis. What is the other name for 0.45% solution? Fragility point concentration. And 5% solution causes crenulation, right? So this is about the importance of the RBC, so the importance of the isotonicity. We must maintain the isotonic solution. What extent required? Depending upon the route of administration, depending upon the volume of fluid you are injecting. That we'll see that now. What is the volume of blood in our body? What is the volume of blood in our body? Your body weight in kilograms divided by 11 approximately. Your body weight in kilograms divided by 11 approximately. So you are 55 kilograms, so you have about 5 liters of blood. You are 66 kilograms, you have about 6 liters of blood in our body, right? Now, one more small important point here, single dose, multiple dose injections. Single dose and multiple dose injection. What is the maximum volume we can pack in the single dose injection and in the multiple dose injection? Multiple dose means generally we use vials. Single dose means we use ampules. Not only ampules, we use the transfusion bottles also. Single dose, maximum volume, 1000 ml. Multiple dose, maximum volume, 30 ml. Preservative is compulsory in the multiple dose injection. It is not required in the single dose injection. Don't add preservative in the single dose injection. And multiple dose, it is very much required because they are injecting, they are piercing the needle so many times, so it may carry the microbes. So to kill that, we must add the preservative. What extent isotonicity required when administered by different routes of administration? That is, first one, intravenous. We inject that into the Example, ship test toxin Mantox preparation. This is for diagnosis of diphtheria immunity. This is for diagnosis of tuberculosis. Okay. Now we are injecting very small volume, 0.1 ml, 0.2 ml intracutaneously. Generally, suppose you go to a doctor suspecting some TB, they go for the MX. MX means Mantox test. Here they give a small injection and they round off with a pen. Don't rub it for about 2 days, they say. After 2 days, depending upon swelling area, they confirm whether the person is having tuberculosis or not. That is the Mantox preparation. And sick test also same, almost same. That is to diagnose diphtheria immunity, right? Such a small preparation must be isotonic. If it is not isotonic, it may give swelling, and seeing the swelling in the particular area and seeing inflammation on particular area, we suspect it is TB. Actually, the person is not having TB, but even that swelling is there. That swelling is because of you are injecting the paratonic solution of the some Mantox or sick test. So all preparations meant for the intracutaneous route, it must be isotonic. Otherwise, it may give confusing results in the diagnosis of diseases. Next, subcutaneous, we give the vaccines. Desirable, isotonicity, desirable but not essential. Next, intramuscular. Intramuscular. Suppose we are giving the aqueous solution by IM route. Okay, it must be slightly hypertonic. Why? Why? Muscle is lipoid in nature. Major amount of lipids, fats present here. We are giving aqueous solution. It may form a depot effect. A depot effect. So it is settling there. So only slowly is diffusing through the layers of the muscle, and it takes a lot of time to enter into the blood circulation. If you are giving the hypertonic solution, it diffuses fast through the layers of the skin and muscles, and it diffuses fast into the blood circulation also. So, and suppose this is aqueous solution only, we have to go for the slightly hypertonic in the process of injecting to the IM route. Suppose it is oily injection, or if it is non-aqueous preparation, prefer only isotonic only. If it is aqueous solution, slightly hypertonic is required to avoid depot effect and for the faster diffusion of the drug solution. Next one, IV route, intravenous route. In the intravenous route, depending upon the volume, generally we say that intravenous it must be isotonic. Why? It is going to the blood circulation directly. Generally we feel that it must be isotonic, but not compulsory. We are giving only 1 ml, 2 ml. We have large volume of blood. Suppose I said, that is your body weight divided by 11, which gives the approximate volume of blood. So you have about 5 to 6 liters of blood in our body. You are injecting 1 ml of the hypertonic, nothing will happen. But when you are injecting large volumes, transfusion, or you are going for the transfusion, or you are injecting liters of the sodium chloride solution, in such a case, it must be isotonic. Otherwise, hypertonic causes hemolysis, hypertonic causes shrinkage of the RBC, granulation of the RBC. Next route, intrathecal. Intrathecal. CSF, cerebrospinal fluid. Brain, spinal cord. Cerebrum, spinal cord. The fluid present in the CSF is about 60 to 80 ml. It moves very slowly. Volume is very slow. Blood volume 6 liters, but CSF is very small quantity. Any preparation injecting to the CSF, it must be isotonic. Otherwise, it causes severe vomiting, headache, it may cause the fatal symptoms also. So it must be isotonic. Which one? Injecting to the CSF, that is intrathecal route. So this is the importance of the isotonicity. Now we'll go for the methods for the adjustment of the isotonicity. We have a number of methods. Adjustment of the isotonicity. Mainly important methods we'll see now. Based on the depression of freezing point. Second one,